So today we'll be talking about the placement Saturn in the third house. And this placement can be summed up to expressing yourself as little as necessary. A lot of times it feels like you can verbally hold yourself back, or you're more quiet and reserved in your speech. So Saturn is the planet of restriction. So that's why this can happen when it's in the third house. It's the planet of authority. It's the planet of time. Ultimately, though, since it restricts whatever area it's in, this can create somebody that is a man or woman of few words when it's in the third house. So conscious of it or unconscious of it, people that have this placement, they tend to speak as little as necessary. At least that's how others perceive you, whether you're conscious of it or not. Saturn rules fear. So in the third house, this can make somebody that's critical of their speech or their communication, and they obsess over their word selection. Like, even after the fact, they'll be obsessing about which words they used, and did they use the right phrase, like did they use the right, because they're very careful in how they speak, especially in terms of how it will affect others. They want to communicate in the most effective way possible. Saturn is about success and reputation. So like they always want to make an impact with their speech, like in every situation. Even in the smallest, most mundane situations, they want to make sure everything comes off as effective as possible. Yeah, so there could be a fear around one's communication. And since they are less expressive, they're more observant, they come off a little secretive to others, but not necessarily shy though to others. Others think that you're more like secretive. The reason why is because Saturn rules Capricorn, and the sign that has Capricorn in the third house is Scorpio, which is the sign of secrets and privacy. So a lot of times people that have this placement may think that they come off like as shy, and they may feel shy because they have this fear around communicating. But like people just look at you and think they're such a man or woman of few words. Secretive, they just don't want to share. Like that's what you look like, but you don't look like you're scared. In fact, Saturn is the planet of authority. So a lot of times when you speak, you still command authority over a group situation or in a room. The voice can be very commanding or like deep even, because Saturn rules Chronos, the god of time, and it just gives a powerful voice or a powerful communication style, even if the voice is just normal, you know? This placement is about expressing yourself as little as necessary. That's how I can basically sum it up. And it really can depend which area of life Saturn rules, and which will show what area of life you're secretive. So, you know, Saturn can be in different signs. So, for example, if Saturn was in Taurus, maybe you're not socially secretive about when you speak. But since Taurus rules finances, self-worth, self-esteem, possessions, and values, this indicates somebody that's more secretive about the things that they have, about their money. They're more secretive about talking about the things that they like or that they value. They tend to express themselves in as few words as possible or as little as is necessary. So they'll never get to a point that it's like socially awkward. They'll say like the minimum. And you know, in the case of Taurus, it would be about like finances and stuff. Say it was say Saturn ruled your identity. Say it was the ruler of your chart. This is somebody that's secretive about their identity and what they do. They say as little as possible about themselves. They say as little as possible about their objectives, because if Saturn rules the first house, that's about our personal affairs and our objectives and stuff. And usually they don't like talking about themselves. But somebody else could be fine talking about themselves, but not like talking about, their family, or they may not like talking about their finances if it's Taurus. Family would be if Saturn was in Cancer. Yeah, so on and so forth. And it could be like a irrational fear. Like it could be just something really random and particular depending on which sign. Like if Saturn was in Virgo in the third house, maybe you just don't like speaking about your work, and you don't like speaking about your routine, and it just feels random, but it's like something's holding you back. And that's the effect of Saturn. Saturn is like restrictions. And so another thing about Saturn in the third house is that they tend to feel responsible for what they say. So they're careful about their word choice, and they're also careful thinkers because the third house rules the mind. And like I said, they speak when it matters. Saturn rules the emotions of others. Well, the sign of Capricorn rules the emotions of others because it opposes Cancer. Cancer is our own emotions. Capricorn is the emotions of other people. And Saturn rules Capricorn. So what it shows when it's in the third house is that these people can impact people with their speech. These people can be good communicators. Like these people have great word selection, and when they speak, they come off like an authority or like somebody that knows what they're talking about. Since Saturn is the planet of time and it's associated with the mythological god Kronos, and it's very slow moving, people that have Saturn in the third house can have a deeper voice, like the timbre of their voice or the tone of their voice can be like more deep, or it can be a little bit raspy, or they can have something particular about their speech, maybe something that restricts their speech in some way. People that have Saturn in the third house are very critical about their skills because the third house, which is associated with Mercury, is about skills. So singers will be critical of their word selection. And a lot of great singers, I notice, have Saturn conjunct Sun in the third house. So for example, Justin Bieber has this placement. So this would indicate that he's pretty critical about his lyrics, and he's also somebody in his personal life that tends to speak as little as necessary. The singer Sting. There's also a great jazz singer and trumpeter named Chet Baker, and he has one of the most beautiful voices I've heard. But I think throughout his career, he preferred to play the trumpet than to write songs, even though he earned much attention, particularly for albums featuring his vocals. So when it comes to their voice, Saturn makes an impact on other people. And it's because Saturn rules the emotions of others. So as you get more confident in your speech and in your communication, you can become someone that's able to move a crowd or impact people's emotions with their communication. So they can be speakers too. It can also make lyric writers, even if it's not a performer. They can make great lyric writers, and their lyrics are very cohesive because they'll spend hours going back over things and erasing them because they don't like it. It's like a never-ending process, and it just makes them cringe if the lyrics or the words aren't perfect. It just hurts them on the inside if they aren't communicating in the best way possible. Or they can make great communicators. Like you could be somebody that does correspondences, especially government correspondences, or I guess a position that requires authority or communicating with important people because you command authority with your good grammar or your good communication when you have Saturn here. So also this shows a slow communicator or even a slow texter because the third house is about interactions. These people can be slow to respond. And it's kind of like the government or like a business because Saturn rules government, it rules authority. They're slow because they're careful about the word selection. And interactions can actually like force them to speak faster than they want to. Sometimes they just wish they could text people, I'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business days. And last but not least, the third house being about interactions, this can also be somebody that tends to interact as little as necessary because the planet of Saturn is about necessity, it's about responsibility, and it's about reservation, restriction. So again, with that third house, that could be another manifestation or expression of this. So anyways, I hope you found this interesting, accurate in some way, resonated with it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, share this video with somebody you know that has this placement, and of course, subscribe to this channel for more content. Other than that, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys sometime soon in another video.